Hello everyone, this is Chris, and today I'll be showing you 5 separate survival island seeds you could use for your Minecraft worlds. These islands can range from having massive peaks to a variety of different types of biomes to everything else in between. And apart from structure placements, everything in these seeds will work for both Bedrock Edition and Java Edition. Also like, subscribe, and all that other YouTube stuff. But anyways, here's seed number 1 right here, and we spawn in the middle of a bamboo forest kind of, and when I say the middle, I mean almost literally the middle, because this bamboo forest is literally the entire survival island right here. And you would normally expect maybe forests or plains or something like that to be survival islands, but yeah, this is my first ever bamboo forest survival island seed, so it certainly would make for a much more different experience than usual in survival island experiences. And you're also lucky enough to have this little extra bit of land just right next to this one island, along with a little bit of sugarcane, and any other type of like resource or anything like that is always a welcome addition, and having sugarcane on your survival island, a pretty cool thing. Of course, as well as the jungle wood, the bamboo, and everything else like that. But if having an entire bamboo forest wasn't enough greenery for your survival island taste, then maybe just dig yourselves down this way pretty decently deep, because if you dig yourself far down enough, you'll eventually find yourself inside of a lush cave biome. Yeah, you have a lush cave directly below your jungle survival island seed, which is honestly really cool. So you really don't have many reasons to actually going out and exploring much, like, because you have so many different options of blocks and materials and other things like that at your disposal at the spawn. But how does seed number 2 compare with seed number 1? Well, typing in these numbers right here, you'll spawn in right there, right on this one island, which is actually a fairly decent sized one too, with quite a decent number of biomes. You have yourself a pretty decent sized beach right there. You have effectively 2 plains right there. You have 2 forests right there, and a savanna biome right here, which gives you access to 3 separate wood types directly at the spawn point. It seems as though you also have direct access to bees, so in case you want to get yourself some bees or some honey or something like that, then there is an easily accessible way in actually doing it. But since this is an island seed, you might be expecting some of the more traditional things you'd find on a survival island seed, and they are here, but not directly here, at least on this seed, because heading yourself just out this way, just a couple hundred blocks, you'll eventually come across the ocean monument just in itself right here, right next to a big old coral reef right here. So in case you do want to get yourself some ocean monument stuff or some sea lanterns or anything like that, then it is definitely here and not too incredibly far from spawn, if that, because you just have to sail about maybe a couple hundred blocks over here, and then you get, yeah, access to everything the ocean monument has to offer. And on the way, you might have seen this, there's actually a sunken pirate ship right here too. And at least for me, it's not big enough to have the treasure map or anything like that, but still, in case you want some really easily accessible loot, then it is there. But you know, we don't directly need the buried treasure ship map, because you just need to dig yourselves just down here, just a few blocks, to find yourself actually the treasure right here. And suspiciously enough, it is on the island you actually spawn on, which means you get immediate free access to a diamond, to some TNT, and to some free armor right here. So seed 2 had a lot going for it, but what about seed number 3? Well, typing in these numbers right here, you spawn in right here, right inside of a plains biome, and yeah, this one might possibly be my personal favorite, because it has this biome at spawn too. Yeah, it actually has a shattered, windspread, whatever you call it, savanna plateau, sitting itself right at the spawn of your survival island seed, which is absolutely incredible and crazy, and any other type of word you want to put it in. And yeah, still, these are my absolute favorite biomes, just because of how ridiculous they can actually get in scale and scope, especially as of 1.18. And with the shattered savanna, the plains, and the swamp right here, it makes for one of the most unique, distinctive biome survival island seeds I think I've seen in quite a while. Oh, and I should probably also mention there's a rune portal island just down here too. Yeah, it's not really connected properly to anything right here, which technically does make this for a rune portal island. And you know, since it's here, we might as well check out, see what the nether's like on the seed. Not too bad, but could be better. But in case having this amount of biomes on your survival island seed wasn't enough, and let's say you are sharing this seed with a friend or something like that, then there actually is another decent sized island not too far from spawn. yeah, we have this one birch forest island right here, along with another ruined portal right here. So yeah, certainly in case you are sharing this seed with like a few friends or something like that, then you are definitely not shy of any islands around the place. Unless you're playing the seed with more than 2 people, in which case you might have some issues here and there. But yeah, having 2 decent-sized islands right by spawn and right at spawn is a pretty cool thing. But how is Seed 4 in comparison to the other seeds? Well, typing in these numbers, you'll spawn in right here, right inside of what appears to be a forest, but it's not just a forest you spawn onto, because if we look up just a little bit, we might notice that we are surrounded by some pretty decently sized mountains around the place. Yeah, this is what I like to call the Caves and Cliffs Survival Island seed, because, yeah, not only do we have some fairly decent sized cliffs right here, you know, for survival island seeds, not being too incredibly big, for having this right here, we also, you might have seen it, just back here, we also have some pretty decent sized cave entrances right here too. Again, for a survival island seed, because if we just head ourselves down this way, it seems like so much bigger than what it should be. But yeah, this seed somehow manages to spawn in with something that goes on for this amount of time while being underneath an entire ocean. And if we fly around a bit, we can see that it's fairly consistent in how high it actually goes. It goes to maybe about 130 or 140 or something like that. So not the highest type of generation we can ever see inside the game. But again, for an island seed where, you know, it is limited space, it does make the most out of what height it could actually give us, and give us some height. It actually did. If you are looking for a little bit more higher generation, then there is mainland just over there with some slightly higher generation over here. But what I also love about this one seed is the surrounding islands that inhabit it, like this one very vertical island right here, which is, you know, fairly small, but again, still goes up fairly decently high too, along with these stony shore islands and whatever this island is. I think that's supposed to be a forest along with a little bit of stony shore here and there. But I think easily this one takes the cake in being the Caves and Cliffs Island, because not only do we have this big gaping hole inside of a pretty decently sized cave right here, but we also have some generation that goes up, I believe, higher than the survival spawn island we actually got to. Yeah, it seems though it's going to around about 150, 160, maybe 170 if we're lucky. No, 160, but still, having such steep generation right around here makes for one of the most interesting islands I think I've possibly ever seen inside of Minecraft. And the 5th and final survival island seed sort of takes some elements from previous islands I've shown in this one video and meshes them together into one singular survival island seed. Take like this one decently sized forest, which is, you know, a pretty decent size, especially for a survival island seed. Take this one beach, for example, which is, again, a fairly decent sized beach, but then add on top of it a village that spawned on top of this one survival island. Kind of insane, kind of like unheard of that you actually get this amount of land and a village inside of a survival island seed. Along with some fairly decent steep elevations on this one seed too. So yeah, in case you do want like some flat elements, it has it. In case you want some hilly elements, it definitely has it. In case you want some cave elements, it certainly has it somewhere in this mountain, somewhere down below. In case you want almost anything inside of a survival island seed, then this one almost has everything, including only about 100 or so blocks away from the island, an ocean monument right here. So even more reasons to use this one seed, having like, again, access to all the pre-spring blocks, to have access to sponges, to have access to everything this one structure has, not too incredibly far from your one island. So let me know what you think of these seeds down below in the comments. Let me know if you have any specific seeds yourself, but for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.